My brothers and sisters, hear me now. We all want something more out of life. We want success, we want purpose, we want transformation. But let me tell you, transformation ain't easy. It takes work, it takes dedication, it takes sacrifice, and it starts today, right now. Let's talk about the 10 rules to transform your life in 2025. Let me tell you something that's going to change the way you look at life. Everything that happens to you, everything you experience, starts with one simple thing: you. You are responsible for where you are right now. I know that might be a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. If you're in a place where you don't want to be, don't start pointing the finger at your boss, your friends, or your circumstances. Alarm charges. Non-defensive formation launches forward, dominate through the grand opening credits. Resilience, I have learned, takes multiple shapes and shapes, such as the sky, the earth, the sea, the sky, the earth, the sea, the great earth. Non-defense formation launches forward. And here's the thing. Once you accept that responsibility, your life changes in an instant. See, when you take responsibility, you take control. You stop being a victim of the things around you, and you start being the driver of your own story. That's how real change happens. You stop waiting for someone else to make it happen for you. You stop waiting for the right opportunity to fall in your lap. You stop waiting for someone to hand you your dreams. Instead, you go out there and you get it yourself. But here's where the tough part comes in. Responsibility means you got to stop blaming others. It's too easy to point fingers. It's too easy to say, if only I had better circumstances, or if only this person had treated me better. The truth is, life isn't fair. Life isn't going to roll out the red carpet for you. You've got to get out there and put in the work, even when it's hard, even when the world doesn't seem to be on your side. You make the decision to rise above. You choose how you respond. You make that decision every single day. It also means that you can't sit around waiting for things to change for you. If you don't like something in your life, if you're not where you want to be, then guess what? You've got to change it. No one else can do that for you. You have to take the initiative. If you're stuck in a job that doesn't fulfill you, then it's on you to find something that does. If you feel like your relationships aren't serving you, then you need to take action to change that. Stop putting your life in the hands of someone else. Taking responsibility means understanding that your future is in your hands. It's not just about what's happening right now. It's about the decisions you make today, tomorrow, and every day after that. Your future will be built by the choices you make right now, by how hard you work, by how you treat others, by the energy you put out into the world. You get to decide what that looks like. So stop waiting for things to happen. Stop blaming your circumstances. Take responsibility for your life, your actions, and your future. When you do that, when you truly own your journey, that's when the transformation begins. That's when you'll start to see things shift. That's when the doors will start to open, the opportunities will start to show up, and your life will begin to move in the direction you've always dreamed of. But it all starts with you. Take responsibility and everything else will follow. If you want to succeed, if you want to truly transform your life, there's one thing you need to know. Hard work is non-negotiable. You've got to work harder than anybody else. You might look at the successful people around you and think, how do they do it? How did they get there? Well, let me tell you, it wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It was hard work. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's how they got there. They outworked everyone around them, day in and day out. It's easy to talk about dreams, to talk about goals, to talk about the big picture, but let me tell you something. The dream is built in the grind. The dream isn't real until you put in the hours, the effort, and the relentless drive to make it happen. You can't just hope things will come to you. You've got to go after them with everything you've got. And working hard doesn't just mean putting in the hours. It means putting in the right kind of effort. It means giving it your best all the time without making excuses. It means showing up when it's tough, when you're tired, when you don't feel like it. You've got to keep pushing even when the road is long and the finish line feels out of reach. That's when the real growth happens. When you're working hard in the face of adversity, that's when you build strength, resilience, and character. But here's the secret. Working hard doesn't always mean working longer hours. It means working smarter. You've got to work with purpose. Don't waste time spinning your wheels. Focus on what really matters. Learn to prioritize. Learn to cut out the distractions, because in the end, it's not just about the number of hours you put in. It's about the quality of the effort you give. This is where most people fall short. They get complacent. They settle for good enough. But let me tell you, if you want to be the best, if you want to break through and leave everyone else behind, you've got to push harder than anyone else. That's the difference between success and failure. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve. You've got to make it a mindset. Every day, wake up with the intention of giving your absolute best. Don't let yourself off easy. Don't allow yourself to get distracted. Don't settle for good enough. Good enough is never going to get you to where you want to be. Mediocrity has no place in the life of someone who's striving for greatness. If you want it, you've got to earn it. Hard work means being disciplined, being consistent, and being relentless. It means making sacrifices. It means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's about putting in the time when nobody else is watching, when no one is clapping for you, when it feels like you're the only one in the room pushing. But trust me, all that hard work pays off. Every ounce of effort you put in now will come back to you in the form of results later. Every ounce of effort you put in now will come back to you in the form of results later. You just have to be patient and keep pushing. So if you're serious about changing your life, about taking things to the next level, understand this: work harder than anybody else. Outwork the competition. Outwork your own doubts. Outwork your fear. Do the work now and you'll see the rewards later. It's that simple. Failure is not the end. In fact, it's just the beginning. It's easy to look at failure as something negative, something to be avoided, something that stops us in our tracks. But if you really want to transform your life, you've got to change how you look at failure. You've got to fail forward. Failing forward means seeing every failure as a lesson, an opportunity, and a stepping stone to success. It means understanding that failure isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. Because the truth is, if you're not failing, you're not growing. If you're not failing, you're playing it safe. And when you play it safe, you'll never push the boundaries of what you can truly achieve. Failure is the only way you will be born again. Suffering is not possible. Failing forward means. So when you fail, don't sit there and wallow in it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't let it define you. Instead, learn from it. Understand why you failed and use it as a tool to get better. The greatest lessons in life don't come from our successes, they come from our failures. You might fail 1,000 times, but every time you fail, you get one step closer to success. The key is to keep going, to fail forward, and to use each failure as fuel to propel you forward. Failure can feel uncomfortable, it can feel discouraging, but it's important to realize that the most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there because they failed and then picked themselves up, dusted themselves off, and tried again, and then again, and again. They understood that failure was part of the process. It wasn't the end, it was just a part of the journey. Let me tell you something. Failure teaches you resilience. It teaches you to keep going when the going gets tough. When everything around you seems like it's falling apart, that's when your true character is forged. When you fail and get back up, you're building strength. You're building persistence. You're building a mindset that says, no matter what, I will not quit. But failing forward doesn't just mean getting back up and trying again. It means taking what you've learned and applying it. Every failure has a lesson, and if you're not learning from your mistakes, then you're missing the point. You've got to be willing to look at your failure objectively, figure out what went wrong, and then use that knowledge to make better decisions the next time around. It's not enough to just fail. It's about failing with purpose and intent to get better. Understand that success isn't a straight line. It's full of twists and turns, ups and downs. And along that path, failure is a part of the journey. It's not a detour. It's an essential part of the process. You will fail. It's inevitable. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to failure. Do you let it knock you down, or do you rise stronger, smarter, and more determined than before? The key is to fail forward. Fail with grace, fail with strength, and fail with the knowledge that each failure is taking you one step closer to where you want to be. Never let failure hold you back. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Because in the end, failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a part of it. If you want to transform your life, one of the most important things you can do is surround yourself with the right people. Who you choose to keep close is critical. You can't underestimate the power of your inner circle. The people around you will either lift you up or drag you down. And it's up to you to decide who gets to be part of your journey. Let me be clear. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're constantly surrounded by people who are negative, who have no drive, no ambition, and no vision for their future, guess what? You're going to pick up on that energy. You're going to start thinking small, playing it safe, and settling for less than what you're capable of. But when you surround yourself with people who are driven, positive, ambitious, and constantly striving to better themselves, that energy rubs off on you. You start thinking bigger, aiming higher, and pushing yourself further. The right people challenge you. They don't let you settle for mediocrity. They hold you accountable, not just for your actions, but for your potential. They remind you of your dreams when you forget, and they encourage you when you're feeling defeated. These are the people who will tell you the truth even when it's hard to hear. They'll call you out when you're slacking, but they'll also cheer you on when you're pushing yourself. And you've got to be okay with that. You don't want people around you who just agree with everything you do. You want people who are willing to challenge you, to push you out of your comfort zone, because that's how growth happens. The people you surround yourself with should be a reflection of where you want to go, not where you've been. If you're the smartest person in the room, then you need to find a new room. If you're always the one giving advice but never receiving it, you're missing out on the opportunity to grow. You need to be around people who are further along in their journey than you are. People who can teach you something new. People who inspire you to keep going when things get tough. But forged in the process of discovery of self. And this is the process necessary to rise above your comfort zone. But it's not just about what people can give you, it's about what you can give to them. Your inner circle should be filled with people who are as invested in your success as you are in theirs. It's a two-way street. You need to give as much as you get, help others on their journey, support them, be there when they need you. When you surround yourself with the right people, there's a mutual exchange of energy, encouragement, and growth. Sometimes this means letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It's not easy, but it's necessary. If you've got people in your life who constantly drain your energy, who are always negative, or who don't want to see you succeed, then it's time to distance yourself. You've got to make space for people who will elevate you, who will believe in your dreams, and who will be there when you need support. The right people make all the difference in the world. They can either help you rise to the occasion or hold you back. So be intentional about who you surround yourself with. Choose people who will challenge you, support you, and lift you higher, because your circle will shape your future. And if you want to transform your life, it starts with choosing the right people to walk alongside you. If you want to make a real transformation in your life, there's one thing you need to understand. You should never, ever stop learning. The moment you stop learning, you start to stagnate. The world is constantly changing. New technologies, new ideas, new challenges. And if you don't stay sharp, you'll get left behind. You've got to be a student of life, no matter how old you are, no matter how much you've accomplished. You've got to have a mindset that says, I can always learn something new, because that's where the growth happens. The best leaders, the best entrepreneurs, the most successful people in the world, what do they all have in common? They never stop learning. They don't stop after they've reached a certain level of success. They continue to seek out new knowledge, new skills, and new perspectives. Why? because they understand that the moment you think you know it all is the moment you begin to fall behind. There's always room to grow, always more to discover, and if you're serious about transforming your life, you need to develop a hunger for knowledge that doesn't quit. Learning isn't just about formal education either. It's not just about going to school or getting a degree. Learning happens in the small moments, the everyday experiences. It's about being curious, asking questions, and seeking answers. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch documentaries, take online courses. Never stop feeding your mind. Each piece of knowledge you gain is like a tool in your toolbox, and the more tools you have, the more equipped you are to handle life's challenges. But learning isn't just about gaining new information. It's also about unlearning the things that no longer serve you. Sometimes we hold on to outdated beliefs, limiting mindsets, and old habits that stop us from moving forward. You've got to be willing to let go of those things, to open your mind to new ideas and new ways of doing things. This requires humility. You've got to admit that you don't know everything and that there's always room for improvement. The most successful people are the ones who stay humble enough to keep learning, even when they've already achieved a great deal. Learning also means embracing failure as part of the process. When you fail, you learn. When you stumble, you learn. Every setback, every mistake, every challenge you face holds a lesson. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid to not learn from it. The key to growth is to reflect on your experiences, extract the lessons, and use them to move forward, stronger, smarter, and more prepared. The more you learn from your failures, the less likely you are to repeat them. Lastly, learning is about expanding your horizons. Don't just stick to what you know. Seek out different viewpoints. Challenge your own assumptions. Learn about different cultures, different industries, different ways of thinking. When you do this, you open yourself up to new possibilities and new opportunities. It's easy to get stuck in your own bubble, in your own little world. But the key to success is to break out of that bubble, to constantly push yourself to see things from a new angle. So if you're serious about transforming your life, make a commitment to never stop learning. Whether you're learning from your successes or your failures, from books or from people, from your past or your future, keep learning. Because when you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you stop living. Stay curious. Stay hungry. Keep learning, because that's how you keep moving forward. If you want to truly transform your life, you have to understand the power of giving back. It's easy to focus on what you can get from life, what you can accumulate, what you can achieve, how you can rise to the top. But the most fulfilling and meaningful transformations come when you realize that your success isn't just about you. It's about the people you can impact along the way. Giving back is not only an act of generosity, it's an act of self-empowerment. It's a reminder that success is not just for your benefit, it's for the benefit of others. The truth is, we are all connected. No one achieves success alone. Behind every success story is a network of people who supported, encouraged, and helped along the way. So when you reach a point in your life where you've achieved something, it's time to pay it forward. You've been blessed with knowledge, resources, and opportunities. Now it's your turn to help others. But whether it's your time, your expertise, or your financial support, giving back allows you to share the abundance you've gained with those who may not have the same opportunities. But giving back doesn't always have to be a grand gesture. It's not just about making large charitable donations or having a huge platform. It's about small, consistent acts of kindness that add up over time. It's about being there for someone who needs advice, offering a helping hand to someone in need, or mentoring someone who is just starting out. You might not even realize the impact of your actions, but those small moments of generosity can change someone's life. Think about the people who helped you get to where you are. Who were the mentors who gave you guidance? Who were the friends who stood by you when you were struggling? Who were the family members who supported you even when it was hard? Chances are these were people who gave selflessly to you without expecting anything in return. Now it's your turn. Giving back is a way to honor those who helped you and to create a cycle of positivity that continues to spread. When you help others, you inspire them to help others, and that's how real change happens. Giving back also keeps you grounded. It reminds you that success isn't just about your own personal gain. It helps you see beyond yourself and realize that there is more to life than just climbing the ladder of success. It shifts your focus from me to we. The more you give, the more you realize that the true value of life lies in the relationships you build and the positive impact you have on the world around you. Don't wait until you have everything you want to start giving back. The truth is, you have something to give right now, no matter where you are in your journey. You don't need to be at the top to make a difference. Even when you're still climbing, you can extend a hand to help others on their way up. That's how you create a legacy. So make it a point to give back. Whether it's a small gesture or a large one, it matters. When you give, you not only help others, but also enrich your own life in ways you can't even imagine. Success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about what you do with your success once you're there. And the more you give back, the more you'll realize that true fulfillment comes not from what you accumulate, but from the difference you make in the lives of others.